are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Tony and Barnes show, but we do have two guests on the couch.
Oh my gosh.
Michael and Shanna. How you guys doing?
I'm doing great, guys.
It's Wednesday.
They're also doing great.
Hey, practice makes perfect, right? All right. I'm glad we're all on the same page. But specifically, Tony, I'm just curious how you're doing, my friend.
I'm still feeling pretty okay, dude.
The red, I feel like, says it all. You know, it is the Barney. Did you catch that one yesterday? That they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, there is a lot to talk about here. We do have a couple comments.
Prefer hi guys or hey guys, excuse me, and then prefer also says hey Michael and Shanna. Wow, good prefer clocking in early. Prefer up and Adam. Love to hear it.
Prefer. I mean, it's the dedication. I mean, it's unbelievable. I would like to just set a weekly call-in spot, though. I mean, come on, Prefer. Like, you already called in. What's there to be nervous about now?
Michael Thiefel says, hey, good vibes. Good vibes with semicolons? Oh, I don't think they do that here. Oh. Really? Like with the three fingers?
I guess you learn something new every day.
I prefer. I'm on the
golf course.
Too busy to call in.
I mean, Prefer never said he golfed. I mean, am I crazy or no? All the times we've talked about golf.
I don't know. Maybe he did.
Prefer. What's your handicap? What are we guessing? I mean,
is he?
You think he's an '80s golfer or
93?
93. I mean,
which is still very good.
Yeah, that's not a bad number.
Yeah.
So interested to see. Would love to get on the course with Prefer. So we'll have to try to see if we could set that up.
Oh yeah, dude.
But let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
2-2, he got him swinging. The back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray.
There's damage right there. Shohei, way, sayonara. Where did that land?
Stuck to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins and fires. Out at first.
There it goes. See ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
All right, Tony. Yankees win. I mean, what a game from Fenway last night. Definitely had to sweat it out.
Prefers 100 golfer, by the way.
Hey, I mean, I know some people that are 130s golfers. So 100 golfer, that's not too shabby.
You see him in the mirror every morning.
So 7-6 last night in 10 innings. And like I said, definitely got tight at the end. Some big hits throughout. So let's kind of just talk about how we got to that point. So to start off the scoring, actually, the second inning, here we go. Garrett Cole again with the home run ball in Fenway Park. 2-run shot from Casas, scoring Devers as well. So that made it 2-0 Sox. But luckily for the Yankees, they got a rare home run from Marwin Gonzalez, a bomb to right, 4-10, scoring himself in IKF. So that tied it up at 2. But Reese McGuire, so Cole serves up another one, answers with a solo shot to right, 403 feet around the pesky pole.
It's a lot of feet.
It is a lot of feet. So that made it 3-2 Sox, and the scoring quieted down for a couple innings before Aaron Judge with a homer to right, 383 feet, making it 3-3. That excessive saliva. Dude. It's the excessive saliva, Tony.
You had a Gatorade this morning, dude?
No Gatorade, just coffee and water. Xander Bogaerts, who him and Devers seem to always step up against the Yankees. Mm-hmm. I know Devers didn't do anything last night, but typically they always do. So he made it 4-3. So yet another home run allowed by Cole, 3 home runs. And they showed a statistic, and it's like per 9 innings at any other park in the major leagues, his home runs per 9 is under 1.
Wow.
And at Fenway Park, it's like 2.5. So for whatever reason, I mean,
Home
I
field
know
advantage.
obviously, friendly confines, whatnot. So that made it 4-3. And, Cole lasted 6, and then it was onto the bullpen, Lucas Licky, Lou Trevino. But Aaron Judge in the top of the 8th with a home run, tying it at 4 onto Lansdowne Street. So that's number 57 of the season. So just an unbelievable game from Judge once again. And then the game actually ends up going into extras. You get a scoreless inning out of Loizaga. You get a scoreless inning out of Clay Holmes. And then the Yankees, start the top half of the 10th inning. Obviously, you had the ghost runner on second, and that was IKF to start the inning. And then, Aaron Hicks walks. Marlon Gonzalez, I mean, it's first and, second, nobody out. And of course, he hits one right up the middle, right where they're playing the shift. So it's a double play, but you get IKF to third. And then, of course, base open. Aaron Judge gets intentionally walked. And then Giancarlo Stanton works a walk. So that loads the bases. And then you have Estevan Florial pinch running for Stanton. Gleyber Torres, 2 strikes on him. He goes opposite field, double, clearing the bases. And it was interesting. And it was, thank God they pinch ran Florial. Ironically enough, so he's rounding third, slips, gets up, but still gets in there for the third run. So that made it 7-4. Josh Donaldson lines out, and then we were on to the bottom of the 10th where it got a little crazy. So Higgy comes in to catch, Hicks goes to left, and then Holmes' first pitch hits Reese McGuire on the foot. And then he leaves the game. So Wong comes in to pinch run. He strikes out Tommy Pham. And then Wandy Peralta comes into the game. And you can imagine me watching this game, Wandy in Fenway Park, runners on. I didn't feel too good. And he lets up a single to Alex Verdugo, which scores Kiki Hernandez. Wong goes to third. He induces a flyout of Xander Bogaerts. That was a matchup I was nervous about. Lefty on righty. Bogaerts has been on fire recently. Luckily, he gets the fly out there. And then, he gets to 2 strikes on Rafi Devers, who's up next, and just completely spikes a fastball right into the ground, maybe 5 feet short of home plate. And it bounces, into the stands, actually. So that actually scores Wong. So that made it 7-6. And then you got Verdugo on second. So all you need here for the Sox is a single, and that would probably score Verdugo to tie the game. But Wandy, out of the bag of tricks, pulls that slider, kind of mid-level, but away, swings right through it. And then the Yankees win 7-6. So definitely a tight finish, but a big win. And they pick up their 86th victory of the season. The one thing here, I feel great, obviously, about Judge and, the fact that they were able to battle back in this game after, losing a couple leads here is the fact Clay Holmes, I know he did fine in the 9th, but he runs into the trouble in the 10th, and just the command isn't there. And he's not quite, the Aroldis Chapman, like high wire act, but I still just don't know if, he's the best option in the 9th, despite how good he was in the first half of the year. I've kind of changed my mind here, and I'm just kind of curious what you think, Tony. If maybe they should at least try out, while we got a couple weeks here, Loizaga pitching in the 9th. He's really settled in second half after a terrible first half of the season, missing time with injury as well.
With Loizaga, the only thing I would maybe be a little worried about Loizaga is I feel like he just doesn't have some strikeout stuff. Am I wrong to say I feel like his strikeouts?
Well, his
really
strikeout rate isn't high, but he throws hard.
Right, he throws hard, but I feel like
throws 99.
When you need, I feel like when you need a closer to come in just to get a man out the plate with no worries at all. Is he really gonna be your guy? Do you think?
I just Holmes with the command. I don't know, I saw him get ahead with a strike, after he hit McGuire, and it's like it was a hanging slider. Luckily they took it. It's just like I don't like his pitches other than the sinker, and
Right.
it just doesn't seem like he's locating it as well. He was
Wow.
constantly behind hitters. And I just felt fortunate, that he didn't get into trouble, and Wandy, I mean, I know like he got out of it.
Ugh.
And he get the strikeout of Devers. I mean, watching that game, if you were watching it last night, and you got Wandy in, and he's got to face Bogarts and Devers to win the game. I mean, wouldn't you just assume he was going to blow it?
Yeah.
I mean, because I was there earlier the year when he did blow it, and the Red Sox walked it off. But his season hasn't been bad, but he's only converted 4 out of 9 save opportunities. So we've seen him have some blown saves, earlier this year. So I just, like him in the 6th, the 7th. I just don't know about the high leverage situations, but got to give it to him. He did step up, but that wild pitch definitely got me nervous. But it was nevertheless, a big win, and with the Rays and the Jays, splitting that doubleheader yesterday, that was big for the Yankees. I believe now it's down to let's see, magic number. Was it
6, Michael? 6.5.
No. Oh yeah. So the lead is 6.5 over the Rays. The magic number I thought was 17, but I want to double check. Maybe 16 because of that doubleheader. I'm just going to look on the MLB app. So why does this not show? They always have the magic number on here, but it's not.
Magic number?
Wild card. What?
Magic number.
I guess I'm gonna have to get back to everybody on that, because they always show you, but it's just I'm not seeing it on Barney. Come on, Tony.
That's good.
No, it's real good.
Magic number.
The magic number. Anyway, 6-game lead here. We got real tight, down to 3.5. So we're at 6. Blue Jays and Rays, of course, still playing today. And I think it's just an opportunity here to pick up a game on someone, get another win at Fenway Park. And it's just, I'm sure it's any team playing there, Tony, but boy, I'm almost glad. I know we're a lot better team than Boston, and we could kick their ass at Yankee Stadium. But at Fenway Park, I feel like it's so tough to beat them 10-0, or I know 10-0 is a ridiculous score, but you know what I mean. It's always like it's so close to just all erupting,
right?
And I feel like that's what just makes me nervous there, especially when you get extra innings. Runner on.
Anything could happen.
And I forgot, just because it's been a while, since the Yankees were in a postseason game in extra innings. Is that gone for extra innings? I mean, the post runner is not in postseason, right?
Last I checked, it's not in postseason.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you at all concerned about Cole giving up 3 home runs last night?
Well, like I said,
you think it's just Fenway?
I swear. I mean, look at the numbers. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but I feel like Cole hasn't given you a lot of 14
strikeouts last game before this.
Okay.
Wow.
But I mean, consistently, is what I'm saying. Like, not just one start. It's like maybe he's throwing along 2 good starts, but I feel like he's still a little questionable. And then you're going to tell me that
strikeouts.
He it doesn't matter. Okay.
It doesn't matter.
You gave him 3 home runs last night. 3 home runs is not good for.
I mean, like I said, I know it's the product of the park. Yankee Stadium, you would allow 0 home runs last night.
You think so? Product of the park, dude. Yeah. So easy to get a home run at Fenway.
I mean, it kind of is, actually. If you look at park factor, the Yankee Stadium is 17th. I believe Fenway is 2nd or 3rd. If I'm not mistaken.
Is that a fact?
Look it up. No. I want for the fans, because I think everybody park factor, they get confused. So I'd like to just see what we have for the current park factor rankings this season.
Love it. This is why you're
the best. I guess home runs obviously is going to be Colorado. I don't know why this says no, and then it says Boston, Mass.
It's 6th, and then what? Yankee Stadium, they have tied for 14th.
14th, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that kind of shows you the difference right there. And then in terms of Cole jumping off the page, so, you take out last night, you look at his previous starts, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight starts where he's allowed, or 5 out of 6 starts, he allowed 2 runs or less, win at least 6 innings. So, And then, double-digit strikeouts in 3 of his last 4 games. So, I mean, you look at it, ERA 3.3 this season. I mean, 228 strikeouts, the whip just over 1. Pretty solid. I mean, obviously, it's just going to come down to the postseason. I mean, I think it's that simple. However, I don't think there's much to be disappointed with this year. I know, Red Sox, but like I said, that park, man, there's just something about it. I don't know what it is, but it's tough to shut down the Red Sox at Fenway Park, no matter how good or bad their season's going.
I got a question for you, Brian, because prefer comments.
Yeah, okay. But actually, speaking of which, yesterday
I don't believe it.
No. But anyway, so I was playing yesterday, and you probably don't remember, but the course we played in Stanford, the 17th hole, it's a par 3.
Sure.
You kind of remember?
No.
Oh, okay. If you saw it, you would. Whatever, Tony. Anyway.
Is it the one with the house right behind the fence?
No, that was the first hole that Michael hit. Anyway, so, wet conditions yesterday, so stuff was just kind of sticking, but no lie, 3 feet. So that hole, I think it's like 170 yards, 3 feet from the cup. Maybe, drier conditions, ball rolls right. That's a hole in one. But
Okay.
I took the birdie. But I'm just saying, it could have been my first career hole in one. It's just those are so hard. I mean, it's like,
right.
But yet some people have 5, 6 hole in ones. It's
luck,
unbelievable.
really. It kind of is luck, dude.
Yeah, I mean, but obviously, I mean, there's a certain golfer that probably, it's just not happening. I mean, I guess maybe a 1 in a million type of chance, But yeah, I was fired up about that. But yeah, so like I said, you got an off day tomorrow, so you just want to pick up this series tonight. Big advantage for the Yankees in terms of the pitching matchup. They have Nestor Cortez on the hill, and his last start abbreviated coming back from the injured list. I think he only threw 58 pitches. I'd imagine this one, we'll see upwards of 80 to 90 pitches. So he gets the call here. And on the hill for the Red Sox, we have Baggio, who is 1-5 with a 5.79. So you love the advantage there. And let's just score some more runs. I mean, I think, 7's pretty solid. And, you want to see Nestor give you 6 innings, kind of ease up on the bullpen a little bit. And let's get out of Boston with another win, get a series sweep, and then travel into Milwaukee for the weekend, which would be a fun series, a place that the Yankees aren't accustomed to playing, but will get more accustomed to now that they're playing every team in the league, just like every other team is starting next season. I still, I kind of like it, but at the same time, going from, I believe it's 19 games versus your divisional opponents to, I think now it's 11. I don't know. I just feel like I want more divisional games. I don't know what your thoughts are there.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, obviously divisional games, rivalries, better baseball. Especially for you. I mean, your division is like not that hard.
Okay. Oh man, that's funny. That really is funny. I mean, we have 3 playoff teams. How many does the NL East have? 2 at most.
2 at most, and also, just like the returning world champions. No big deal.
This year's world champions in the AL East in the New York Yankees. So there you go.
What? What are you talking about, dude?
I'm saying,
come on, dude. The AL East is a joke.
The NL East is a joke.
No, it's not.
The Nationals, the Marlins, the bottom of the AL East is so much more difficult. It's not even close.
Okay, but overall,
no.
Boston sucks.
I mean, there's 3. So there's 3
Toronto. You mentioned not fundamentally sound.
Wait. Boston sucks. So they're the last place team. How much better is Boston than the Washington Nationals?
Doesn't matter. I'm saying collectively.
It doesn't matter collectively.
Collectively.
So at the bottom, the NL East is weaker, and they have less playoff teams. But somehow it's a harder division. Like, are you kidding?
Because at the top, there's just harder teams.
The top. I mean, who's better than the Yankees in the NL East?
Braves.
I don't think so.
How did you not say that?
I'd love to play them in the World Series.
Okay, we have to get there first, which is not going to happen anyway.
I guess time will tell, Tony. But
You can't sit there and tell me the Braves
you-
are a better team.
you know
all
what?
around.
You know what's a good tune-up for a World Series run? A game against the Cubs.
Right.
If you could just enlighten our viewers how that went for the New York Mets yesterday, if you would.
Well, obviously, again, Brian's smile on his face, not too well. We talked about the Mets and I guess their kind of lack of offense, which has been a huge issue. Especially with before says the clubhouse pro called me Tiger Woods. He's so proud right now.
Wow.
Do we really think prefers golfing?
No, I just think he.
What do you mean? What?
If he's just saying he's not golfing, I mean, if he's saying this and not golfing, that's weird. Right, but then also,
I think he's just kind of messing with us,
like always.
Why would you want to do that? Because it's fun. We're talking about it, aren't we? Yeah. Anyway, the Mets ended up losing 4-1 last night. And, a few people are like, oh, well, like DeGrom didn't have his best start. He still went 6 innings, gave up 3 earned runs. I believe there was I think it was 39 starts consecutively, giving up 3 earned runs or less, which broke some like century-old record for a pitcher. Regardless, DeGrom at this point giving up 2 runs or even 1 run at some points, it's like kind of like, oh, DeGrom doesn't really do that. So I don't really blame him necessarily for maybe the loss of this game. I mean, Mets still scored only 1 run. And then the defense behind DeGrom was kind of shaky. There was a few instances, I want to say it was like the 6th or 5th inning. DeGrom was in a bit of a jam. Bases were loaded. I think there was I forget who got hit on the Cubs, but they had to bring in another runner. So he came up, or another batter, I should say, because he was injured. He hurt his hand. And he comes in, he inherits I think it was an 0-2 count. He ends up bunting down the first base line, the safety squeeze, as they call it. And I think so the runner from third obviously goes to home. Alonso picks it up, throws the ball. It's not a horrible throw, but it's kind of on, I suppose, the outside of McCann. So he's kind of stretch to the right and then get quickly back to the left to get the runner at home. He ends up not getting the out. They score a run. And then after that, I think there was a pop fly to McNeil, shallow, rightish center. And he ends up throwing the third instead of to home, so I get the man out at home. So it was just like some weird, fundamental decisions on defensively. And then, of course, Alonso scored. He had a homer in the 9th. They were absolutely getting, who the pitcher for the Cubs is? Sampson, right? They were getting dumbfounded by Sampson. I forget who the guy was yesterday, but you got like 2 pretty much no-name pitchers that the Mets are having an issue kind of hit. And
Rucker and Hughes.
Yeah, what?
The relievers for the Cubs, Rucker and Hughes.
Oh, yeah, but even though I'm talking about the starters.
Samson
yesterday, and 2 days ago was I forget his name, but that's the point. It's kind of the point, dude. Like, these are 2 kind of like no-name starters who you're just like, you really shouldn't be having an issue hitting. And you are right now. And it's at this point, it's becoming, I guess, a little bit more of a trend here. We talked about yesterday, the Mets have been losing the first game, taking the next 2. Now they lose 2 to the Cubs. They're kind of, I guess, threatening here. Well, they're going to lose the series to the Cubs. And now you have Drew Smiley tonight. But understand Drew Smiley, I guess, is okay of a pitcher for the Cubs. When he was on the Braves, I think he did well in that one postseason run. And then after that, he's not been good. He hasn't been good. But at this point, you have Peterson on the mound for the Mets now. So your worry is that, well, Peterson may give up 3 earned runs, and you have to score more than 3, which is not something you've been doing, kind of as of late. And it's just, it's getting, I suppose, a little annoying because it's like, you think of how much you scored on Pittsburgh. I think it was the doubleheader, right? Where they scored like 5 and 7 runs, and then they're winning games like 11-2 or something like. And then they're just not scoring 1 run against the Cubs right now. It's really ridiculous. And at this point now, the Braves, who you got lucky with a couple of nights ago losing, they win last night. They lose 2.5 a game. we know how good the Braves are, one of the best teams in the
Oh,
league.
I think the Braves are great. It's
yeah.
just I don't think any team is better than the Yankees, but that's just a different story.
Well, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Javier
That's like just blind.
Assad was the pitcher who pitched
Yeah, okay.
on Monday.
Yeah,
just
thank
so
you.
you know. 25-year-old from Tijuana.
Must be nice in Tijuana, huh?
Yeah, I mean, security might be a little tight. Oh man. Yeah, so obviously, a tough loss there. I mean, and I think too, I mean, tell me I'm wrong here. But just besides from an embarrassment standpoint, I mean, the Mets today really got to take advantage of this situation because the Braves have one more with the Giants, and Carlos Rodon is on the hill for the Giants. So you'd expect him to, have a really good shot at shutting down the Braves. But if you lose, and then the Braves lose, it's like, I mean, you're really wasting an opportunity. You only have a half game lead. You have to win today.
And I mean, at this point, I mean, you have to just assume the Braves are going to win. Because it's still the Giants. They've had issues scoring. Their bullpen isn't great.
Got sent down.
Yeah. So I mean, the Braves could put up 3 on Rodon.
Charlie Morton on the
who's
hill
been
for
pitching
Atlanta
really well for the Braves
after a tough start.
So
8-5, 4.08.
I mean, it's definitely going to be a tough look ahead for the Mets as their seemingly easy schedule gives them some troubles here. But nonetheless, we've seen teams go into offensive lulls. Have a lot of confidence in our pitching, even with Pearson on the mound. We've seen him have some bright starts here. I think tonight's going to be one of them, and I honestly think the Mets will continue to struggle offensively, at least for tonight.
Well, why is that?
I mean, Brian, it's so hard to say. I mean,
but I'm saying, like, what I know they've struggled recently, but
Right.
what makes you think that it's going to continue tonight?
Oh, just because I feel like, I mean, it's been kind of every other game so far. I think this is the first time where it's been like 2 straight games where
Okay,
there's not scoring.
yeah.
So and I suppose in Smiley tonight, you're versing somewhat of a better pitcher than you have been the past 2 days. So I just got this feeling that they're still going to struggle offensively. We saw it yesterday. I mean, everyone just obviously couldn't hit, from the top of the lineup. Nimmo 0 for 2. I think he struck out twice. Lindor 0 for 3. McNeil hit well, 2 for 4, but I mean, obviously nothing to show for it. Alonso had that solo home run. Vogelback has been doing nothing at DH. Naquin hasn't really been doing anything. Ruff as well. Connor was 0 for 3, bottom of the lineup, which was good. The past few games has been kind of saving you, I guess, a little bit. They had no production. Connor 0 for 3, Escobar 0 for 4. Guillorme, who just came back, 1 for 3, and McCann, of course, is 0 for 3. So, I mean, you don't really expect that type of production from the bottom of your lineup, what they've been doing the past few weeks. So you kind of assume, bottom of the lineup would be a little bit easier to get through for the pitchers here. And, you want to expect more from Lindor, more from Alonso, honestly, not just a solo home run in the 9th inning. I understand. I think in the first inning, he had a deep shot that just went foul.
Did you not to cut you off,
What?
but did you? I just thought of it because you said deep shot just went foul, obviously not short of the fence, but how Boomer Esiason was saying that they should move the fences in at Citi Field. I don't think I mentioned that to you, right? It was a couple weeks ago.
Why does he want to do that?
He's saying that the batters, and you wouldn't know more than me, all the Mets games you watch. That a lot of their hitters are like coming up just short on the warning track. Are you seeing that at all? Or do you think that's ridiculous? And it's like, just hit him farther.
Yeah, I suppose there's a lot of balls that do come up short. I mean, you see it a lot. Outfielders are basically backed up against the wall and they catch it. It is just short, but I mean, so what? Why do you want to do that? What's the point? It should be hard to hit home runs.
And it's funny. I guess you're not going to find it funny, but we were just talking about James McCann. So 2 years left, $24 million, and he has bonuses for Gold Gloves, All-Star appearances, Silver Slug, MVP, and World Series MVP. I mean, like, I can't believe they even put that into the contract.
Hey, I think every contract should have that little incentive, huh? No,
but certain contracts, I mean, we're basically wasting paper at this point. What do you expect in all seriousness though? I mean, do you expect them to keep him? Like, let's say you think they're going to actually cut him or
Yeah.
no? So just eat the money like a Cano situation.
Yeah. That's what you need to do, honestly.
And so I just happened to think of that. And then while I was looking at contracts, I was looking up Carlos Rodon.
What do we got?
And so basically, this offseason, he actually signed a 2-year, $44 million deal with the Giants, but he has an opt-out, $22.5 million player option for next season. I would imagine, after this year, 162 innings, 212 strikeouts, 2.93 ERA, 12 wins, he's going to opt out. And, next year will be his age 30 season. I mean, I would imagine he's a lock for at least 5 years, $150 million.
Yeah, I can see that.
And
5 years might be pushing it a little bit.
But honestly, man, like, listen, I know it's a little risky as you get older, but you see the intensity he brings on the mound. I know he's had injury problems before, but I would sign up for it any day. I mean, would you, knowing the Mets could just bring him right in, no questions asked, 5 years, 150?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like that intent. He definitely would thrive in the postseason. He obviously won't get a chance this year with the Giants, but he's been impressive.
Yeah, no, he's been great. I would definitely pull the trigger, but I mean, I don't know. As a Mets fan, I'm not really looking for another pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing you got to, and I know he's not exactly young either, but I mean, they need a younger pitcher in that rotation. I mean,
the Mets do, yeah.
It's so old, and I mean, Bassett will be what, 35 next year?
I guess when McGill comes back, we'll see how he is. He's a young dude, obviously. Bassett isn't.
Right.
I guess he's not old.
Peterson, what is he? 27?
I think 28. I think.
Okay, yeah. So you'd like to see that, but obviously we'll worry about that stuff when the time comes, of course. But just to update everybody in terms of the picks from yesterday. So I went 2-2, and Tony goes 2-2 as well. So 6-8 for Tony, 7-6-1.
Monty have a good game yesterday?
For me, Monty got popped.
Really?
The Braves, not the Braves, but the Cardinals lost, which I was surprised about. But hey, I guess you can't win them all. But that being said, Tony, we got a full slate here today. A lot of actually afternoon games today as well. We got games starting at 12:35 today. We got 110, two 110s, a 210, a 345, and a 410. So a lot to choose from early and late. So if you would, and I think I know where you're going to go, but just tell us how you're going to get there.
You want to go with the Mets? I'll go with the Mets, dude. David Peterson is going to come out here with a surprise start. He's going to give you 6 2/3 of 2 earned runs here. He'll get, I think, maybe 5 or 6 Ks. No walks, using that control that we've seen kind of here and there throughout the season, maybe 4 or 5 hits. And then like I said, I do think the Mets are going to continue to kind of struggle a little bit in terms of offense. But I think, Escobar, I guess maybe a little nervous of the hit streak, didn't have a good game last night, resets, kind of gets back into his zone. And I do think Guillorme, who had a hit last night, was looking good coming back from injury. And then they're going to come up with some big hits, in spots in that bottom of the lineup, maybe like McNeil or even, Kana will be on base. And you'll see Guillorme, maybe a nice 2-run homer, Escobar with an RBI double. I mentioned about, his how well he's been doing the past couple weeks in terms of his hitting. And I say the Mets kind of, roll into like a nice maybe 4-3 victory here.
That'd be solid.
Yeah.
And what's on the horizon for this weekend for them?
This weekend, I believe it's going to be Pittsburgh again. Let me double check here.
Okay. Off day tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Thursday. Yes. No. They start Pirates. They start Pittsburgh on Thursday, and then you have a game obviously Friday. You have a game Saturday. And then they should be off Sunday. Oh, no. Wow. 4-game stint against Pittsburgh.
You know what I don't quite get? And I don't know if this is just something they're doing towards the end of the year, but I'm showing tomorrow is a Fox doubleheader.
Really?
Oh, do you think maybe Fox picked that up this season since they lost Thursday Night Football?
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
So,
So they have the Mets.
the Mets, but why would the Mets Pirates be on there? That's nuts.
Maybe they're just like
and-
itching for some games.
And then the other game, so I guess it's depending on your broadcast area, is the Astros and the A's. So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of odd. But anyway, I mentioned the Yankees and Cortez, opposed by Brian Bayo, the 23-year-old pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. And, you like what you see last night and you just want to, keep the momentum going. And one of those things, everything's really good right now. You've won, three in a row and you've won, you won the previous two series, going for the third straight series win tonight. But Oswald Peraza hasn't played the last 3 or 4 games. I'm kind of expecting him to get back in the lineup. IKF's been okay, but Peraza is the future, and I would like to see more of him. And just in terms of this game, like I had said, I think Nestor, 6 innings, 2 runs, give him 8 strikeouts. And I want to say offensively for the Yankees, I think you're going to see Peraza go 2 for 4. Stanton hit one on the Lansdowne. And I want to say Gleyber Torres, who's really an X factor down the stretch here. That big hit last night. I think he's going to hit another home run, his 22nd. And Judge will go 3 for 4 at the plate. No homer tonight. And I want to say the Yankees 7-3 over the Boston Red Sox tonight.
Nice. My next pick, I'm going to go back to the well in the Tampa Bay Toronto game. However, I'm going to pick Tampa Bay tonight, where last night I took Manoah and the Blue Jays. I just feel like Toronto, we talked about their offense, a little bit throughout the year and how it was kind of just up and down. And I still feel like it still is, kind of up and down, where they obviously won last night. They had a good offensive. I think they scored 7 runs last night. I think they won 7-2. Yeah. And if you look at the last 5 games, against Texas, they win the first game 11-7. They lose the next game 4-1. And I feel like that was just kind of a trend. I mean, win the next game 3-2, they lose the next game 4-2. They just have like this kind of issue where, I just feel like every other night it's kind of a win and loss. They're not really able to string along like a nice, few starts from their pitchers, a nice few games where everyone's hitting well. So I feel like tonight with Ross Stripling on the mound, who I feel like is, obviously his ERA is a 3.03. I do feel like every time I look at his line, it's like 6 innings, 3 earned runs almost every game.
Right.
So I feel like, he's going to do somewhere around there. And again, to kind of talk about how their offense has been just up and down, I feel like, maybe they'll score 2, maybe 3 runs tonight. And I feel like Tampa Bay kind of squeak by here. I'll say they win 4-3.
All right. So for my pick here, I think I actually, let me just see here. Did I have them yesterday? No. Okay. I didn't have them yesterday. But anyway, I'm going to take the Astros here over the Tigers. Javier on the hill, 8-9, 3.01, going against Wentz, 1-1, 4.05. Houston heavy favorites, -225. And we've spoke about this a bunch. Obviously, we know the force that the Houston Astros are, and they're holding their collective breaths that Justin Verlander will come back, because I think that really swings the pendulum, in their direction, having a healthy Verlander. Without him, you have some decent pitchers, Valdez and Javier, just to name a couple, but you don't have a bona fide ace, and you need that if you want to go back to the World Series. But this is a game that I think they should just cruise by. I'm going to say Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve will go deep. Throw in one for Yordan Alvarez, one of the premier power hitters in the league. I'm going to say Astros all over the Tigers. We're going to go 8-1 as they pick up their 93rd victory of the season.
Nice. Do we have a timeline on Verlander or no? No idea.
I'm gonna contact the
is it
research department
thumb?
here.
What is it?
Jeez, I thought it was shoulder.
Shoulder, thumb, finger.
I don't think it's finger.
While you're going there, go to my next pick here. I'll take the Braves tonight. I know we were talking about Carlos Rodon and how good of a pitcher he is. I understand that.
Calf injury, by the way.
Calf. Yeah, you got to be careful with that, especially when you're old.
Right.
That tight calf can kind of cause an Achilles issue, honestly, and that's the last thing you want Bruin to have is some type of Achilles injury. But we talk about Charlie Morton. He does have the tough start. He has struggled in some spots throughout the season, but I feel like against the Giants, who I guess you could say in terms of their offense, I mean, it's been
what offense?
Exactly. It's been extremely lackluster. I think Charlie Morton can handle the lineup of San Francisco here. And the Braves, again, I mentioned, Rodon, again, maybe he'll give up 3 runs, but I mean, I feel like against the Braves, it's probably a guaranteed 3, if not more, maybe a couple from the bullpen here. I mean, the Braves lineup is really, really good right now. What were they on? They lose 2 in a row, 3 in a row, I think, last week.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we said that this season?
Yeah. I mean, it happens all the time.
It's crazy. And I feel like at this point, the Braves, they're kind of stroll along into a nice win here. Nothing too crazy. They know what they're doing. Braves win 5-2.
All right. I'm going to go with the Chicago White Sox here, hosting the Colorado Rockies. Dylan Cease, we've talked about him a bunch. 14-6, 2.06 this year. Proposed by Kyle Freeland, 8-9, 4.63. White Sox seem to be playing, somewhat better since La Russa had to step away. I don't know if there's a coincidence there or not. But I just like the advantage they have in the pitching department. Obviously, they're a little limited offensively. Tim Anderson's still out, their star shortstop. However, I think they have enough to work with here. So I want to say Cease, might even go 8 innings, strike out 12, no runs. And I want to say the White Sox 3-0 over the Rockies.
What, last pick, dude?
Yeah, last pick.
Oh, wow. The pick 7 flew by. I know. I was ready to get my next pick over here, dude. That's fine.
Oh, no. I thought you meant like this is your last pick.
Oh.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. This will be your
okay.
4th.
All right,
Mets,
sweet.
Rays, Braves.
All right, okay. All right, my last pick. All right, I'm going to take the Mariners. I
Luis
Castillo on the mound for them, and we know how phenomenal he is. And Clevenger on the mound for the Padres here. And I understand, Clevenger's a really good pitcher here, but I do think with Castillo for Seattle, there is a slight advantage in Castillo's favor. And then when you think about, how Seattle has been doing recently, they actually just beat the Padres 2-0, right? So they shut them out. And I feel like that right there has been kind of the story of the Padres. I feel like all season, it's just lackluster, to say the least. I mean, getting shut out to Seattle, and I don't even know who the pitcher was, but if it's not Castillo, I mean, how many other good pitchers do they have?
So you're saying last night?
Yeah.
Logan Gilbert. And that was actually my selection there.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right, dude.
Only went 5 innings, though. High pitch count, but bullpen did the job.
So I feel like, then San Diego got shellacked by the Dodgers before that. So I feel like Seattle, who has shown bright spots in offense as well. I mean, I think things may get ugly for the Padres tonight. I say maybe the Padres score 1, but Seattle wins this one 6-1.
Yeah. And it's funny. I mean, obviously he wasn't around for the collapse last year, so you guess he'd get a break. But any chance your guy, Bob Melvin, could potentially be on the hot seat if they miss the playoffs?
No way.
What about AJ Preller?
No.
I mean, spending all this money, trading away all these prospects, and
yeah, but think about it. I mean,
it's not his fault Tatis.
It's not his fault Tatis.
But he did give him the contract. He didn't need to give him to him at that point. He still had a lot of time left. I know they're trying to save money for the future.
Oh, come on, dude. Anyone would have solidified Tatis Jr. right then and there. Any team would have.
But he still did it, and it still has backfired. So regardless if any team would have not, I mean, it's
Yeah, but you can't judge him on that decision alone. And I mean, when you think about, I mean, they won the offseason. The offseason. They won the trade deadline.
They won the trade deadline. What's their record since the trade deadline?
That's what I'm saying, though. I mean, like, it seemed like he was making all the good moves at any other team. Josh Hader maybe would have been a question mark, but even we were talking about it. He'll pick it up. Change of scenery, he'll be fine. When you think about the history of his career, I mean, he was absolutely lights out for the Brewers.
I know, but I
just
don't.
leading up to that trade deadline. And I mean, you can't knock, the front office or the GM or the manager for how he's been playing them. I mean, you have to hold these players, I think, a little bit more accountable. I don't think most people would see that coming. So I wouldn't think he's really on the hot seat. No. See how he reacts to it. Yes.
Hater 5.98 ERA this season, making Aroldis Chapman look lights out.
Yeah.
5.98.
I know that's bad.
And I'm just looking splits wise here. I guess he somewhat turns around in September, 4 games, 2.25, but
There you go.
July 12.54, August 19.06, and this was coming off April and May scoreless. Tony,
Speaking of Tony Buffer,
you're so right, Tony. In
Tony.
regards to the Padres, I just don't see, though. Honestly, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, I mean, it's like when the Yankees have had their struggles. Obviously, it is on the players. But there's still some responsibility for the front office. But I guess you could say more so on the players. But it's like you have to question. I mean, does Bob Melvin, not have any impact on this group? Like, there's so much talent here,
right?
It should be able to be harvested into success.
Yeah, I suppose maybe you can point to Melvin for not necessarily leading this team, but I mean,
20.5 games back.
It's I don't know. I think they have a good mix of veterans and young talent. Obviously, I mean, Soto should be a superstar. Machado's been around for a while. I understand maybe he's a tough ego to deal with for Melvin, and then Tatis thing, I'm sure hit the team hard, and their pitchers, I suppose. I mean, you have Snell, who's I guess kind of pitched okay lately.
Yeah, really has turned it around.
Yeah, turned it around a little bit. But Musgrove has been really good too. I mean, I feel like it's just those your superstars aren't performing. I feel like Soto should be doing better. Obviously Machado, and then the loss of Tatis. I mean, it's more so obviously in the offense. We just talked about they got shut out 2-0. It's obviously, giving up 2 runs isn't, oh my gosh, it's the, getting shut out. It's like, what are they doing? Maybe it is Melvin, I guess could rally the team a little bit better. But still, I mean, yeah, like you said, like you mentioned, like at what point it kind of falls on the players. They know what they have to do. They're just not doing it.
Yeah, and only one player with 20 home runs. That's Machado, who is actually having a very good year. 302, 28 homers, 90 RBIs. Juan Soto's hitting 212, slugging 336 since he joined the team. Brandon Drury hitting 220 on the IL with a concussion right now. Josh Bell hitting 206 with 3 homers, slugging 313. It's like
Josh Bell. That's right. I forgot they have Josh Bell too.
And it's funny, as Yankee fans, we think we're frustrated with our offense. Like, you looked at this offense, you thought it would set records.
Yeah.
And like the only records they're going to set are for futility. I mean, I really am, like shocked that this is going on. And it, like I said, because you could point to Tatis, but I believe this has started way before that. And I just don't know, is Manny Machado not a good leader? Is that what it has to do with?
I don't think Machado is a good leader. I understand that he's having a good season now. I feel like last season he didn't have a good season, I want to say, right?
I know there's definitely been 1 year,
and there was definitely a lot of animosity, it seems, between him and Tatis.
Right, but now it's like, I mean, what's Tatis
obviously Tatis isn't obviously Tatis isn't around now, and then Machado's doing well, right? So I mean, maybe, again, like Machado's got an ego for sure. When you think about when he came to the Padres, the big contract he had, the lackluster performances he had when he first came to the Padres. I mean, I feel like, the fan base of the Padres are ready to ring him up.
So yeah, last year Machado 28 and 106, hit 278.
Okay.
OPS at 836, 911 OPS this year, 6 WAR, 5 last year. So I would say, it's been pretty successful.
But for an interesting comment though, he says, I blame Tatis. Microscope is now on the Padres. They're all juicing.
But they brought in the guys from outside the organization, like Soto, like Josh Bell, like Brandon Drury, still not getting the results. So odd. And a fan base like the Padres, I mean, the attendance is there, the ballpark's beautiful, you feel like, they had to go through some tight years, Tony.
Yeah.
And now that they have all this talent, as legend that is Manny walks in the door, it's like
Legend.
it's almost like with Salah with the receipts. It's, how much longer is
Right.
this fan base going to wait for the Padres to compete for a championship?
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, again, like it's honestly, it almost is an anomaly in terms of just how bad they are. I mean,
Yeah.
do you think it? I mean, you think about it, I guess Blake Snell, was supposed he came in from Tampa Bay, like a really good pitcher, not
Right.
doing well. Like again, like Soto was hot this year on the Nationals,
Something in the water.
came in not doing well. Brandon Drury was hot for the Reds.
Mike Clevenger was better on the Indians at the time. Kind of mediocre with the Padres.
So
Josh Hader. I mean, I know the struggle started before he joined, but yet another name.
So maybe, I mean, do you think it is the organization, their attitude, the Bob Melvin? But still, I mean, come on, dude. I mean, look at how, the White Sox with Tony La Russa, right? Like, yeah, like that's a shit situation. It definitely affected their play, but they still had some great games. I mean, they still have a lot of talent on the team.
Right.
And you can argue that, like, La Russa's got to be a worse manager than Melvin. And the talent pool over in Chicago over there has got to be worse than the Padres have.
Yeah.
So it's like, how are the White Sox pulling off wins when basically having no manager, and the Padres aren't able to do anything with the talent they have and with Bob Melvin? I mean, there's got to be, I don't know. It's weird.
And how can the Rays, with the talent they have, be even with the Padres? I mean, the Padres should be light years ahead of the Rays.
It should be like Dodgers-esque.
Yeah. So that's going to be an interesting situation. We'll see if they can hang on to that 2-game lead over Milwaukee for that third and final wild card spot.
Prefer says, yo, Manny.
You. And I know we kind of went around in a circle here. Didn't get to give you my last pick. We got the Twins and the Royals, 740 from Target Field.
Gary Sanchez.
Gary Sanchez probably will be in the lineup, maybe a DH. Sonny Gray, another former Yankee great on the hill for the Twins, posed by former Cy Young Award winner Zach Greinke, maybe his last season of his career. 4-8, 4 ERA for Kansas City, 57-85 for the Royals, 70-70 for the Twins as they try to make their way into the playoffs. Outside looking in at the moment. And yeah, I just think Greinke doesn't impress me. Sonny, I think, can have a good game against a weak hitting team like the Kansas City Royals. So I'm going to say, give me 3 hits for Luis Arraez, who's leading the AL in batting average, actually preventing Judge from the Triple Crown at the moment. I'm going to say, 3 hits for him. And I want to say the Twins win this one 5-1. Sonny Gray, his 8th victory of the season. I believe we have a little bit of a wacky prediction out of Buffer tonight.
Buffer's pick, Yankees lose 10-0.
He loves it. I do think he on the course, a little gentleman jack or no?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what are you doing on the course if you're not having any gentleman jack?
Gentleman jack.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's crazy pick. We've seen the Yankees fumble it at Fenway, so.
Oh man. But in all seriousness, Tony, because I know we go back and forth a lot, but and this is, like I said, a very serious question here. After we've seen the last 2 games, and I think it might be 4-6 in their last 10, the Mets. Are you at all concerned, honestly?
Honestly, like, no. I mean, just like any team, even the Braves go into a lull, the Yankees went into a lull, in terms of your offense. And yeah, I mean, obviously for the Mets standpoint, it really couldn't have come at a worse time. But in reality, I mean, we have a phenomenal lineup. We have, a great pitching rotation. Our bullpen has actually been pretty decent. Throughout this stretch here, it's just our lack of offense, right? So that really seems to be the only worry right now. And if our bullpen is sound, our starters are good, the offense will come. I'm really not that worried whether we, win the division or not, I think we're gonna make a splash in the postseason.
And you know what's interesting?
But first is I'm loaded, can't see straight.
Just from an outside perspective, is prefer loads up on the gentleman Jack.
Jack.
You would never guess this, but the Yankees have allowed 38 less runs than the New York Mets. So, you think about the pitching staffs. Obviously, everybody would take the Mets at full strength over the Yankees, but I just did kind of find that interesting.
Like as a whole?
As a whole.
For this whole season.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Third least runs allowed in the majors, and number one, which shouldn't surprise anybody, the 98-win Los Angeles Dodgers, who actually just clinched the division yesterday. So
for the 10th,
9 out of 10
9
years,
out of 10 years
for the Dodgers. So obviously, as they gear up for another postseason run,
crazy for the Dodgers, unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, and it's really too, because when he started out, and I want to say when they. What was it, 2017, when they lost to the Astros in the World Series? A lot was made of, Dave Roberts, not being able to manage his way out of a paper bag. Yeah. All of a sudden, I mean, now you could say, he's won a World Series. He's been to another one.
I still feel like people still kind of challenge him as a manager.
I guess it depends on the circumstance, of course. Yeah. But nevertheless, it's just almost surprising that he's still there. I mean, I think after that 2017 World Series, you really wouldn't have thought that. So you got to give props to him and to the Dodgers as a whole. The impact that Freddie Freeman has had. I believe he has a full 3-game WAR lead over what Matt Olson is doing for the Braves. So I'm sure they wish that they still had him in Atlanta. Just up and down this Dodger lineup. I mean, there's just so much production. I didn't realize Mookie Betts has 34 home runs. He's really went on a bender recently.
Yeah, dude.
And then Justin Turner's had a strong second half after a weak first half. The depth of that lineup is unbelievable. It's amazing that Cody Bellinger just can't turn it around. I mean, you think about a couple years back. I mean, he was the talk of baseball, the next big thing,
MVP race.
And even in 2019, which is only 3 years ago, he hit 47 home runs. And you look at it since then. 2020, obviously shortened season, 12 homers, hit 239. Last season, 95 games, 10 homers, 36 RBIs, 165. And then this year, 125 games, 17 home runs, 201 average. So just imagine if, somehow he started to get going, and you think about what else they have with Trey Turner, obviously Betts, Justin Turner. Will Smith, even from the catcher position, has 20 home runs. So, I mean, it's a very, very deep Los Angeles Dodgers lineup.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be hard to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. But other than that, Tony, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I don't think so, dude.
Is your screen time around the corner?
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. What
Manny's
is it?
Just hanging out today.
Just hanging. Okay.
He's got nothing else to do.
Do we know the subject matter for tomorrow?
TBD.
Yeah. No chance we're going like a Will Ferrell part 2, I would hope, or maybe a Vince Vaughn scenario. Wow.
You know what?
We might have to do that.
It's pretty funny because Manny and I talked about Vince Vaughn. I forget what episode it was. I don't think Manny likes Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about his performance in the movie, the remake of Psycho.
Okay.
Which was good, Manny. And Manny's not very fond of it, dude.
Interesting.
Which is a shame. But I think best Vince Vaughn is a pretty solid choice. But also, I mean, Will Ferrell part 2. I mean, you can do 5 parts to Will Ferrell.
What about Colin Farrell? Hey, can we do a part 2 there?
Do you like Colin Farrell?
Tony, I'm just saying stuff at this point.
Colin Farrell part 2, I think, would be a little bit of a stretch, to be honest, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't do that.
All right. Just an idea. And I guess last question. So let's just say hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
Mets lose today.
Right.
3 out of 4 over the weekend to Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Then are you bugging?
Yeah.
2-game deficit.
They're going to win the next 5 games in a row. So it doesn't really matter.
5 games in a row.
Yeah. Well, actually, what do they have? They have 4. Yeah, they have 4 against Pittsburgh, 1 tonight. Yeah.
against the
Let's call it
Cubs.
5 in a row.
All right. Hey, best of luck. With
You
that
think Judge is
scenario.
still leading off the lineup after the weekend? What do you think
Um,
about that, Brian?
Yeah, I like it.
You like it?
Just because it's like just come in hot, come in with your best guys, get him the most at bats.
Yeah, but
because
think about it
sometimes that'll
now.
matter.
Like, you know, I mean, think about like last night, for example. Boston pitched to Aaron Judge. No one's on base.
Yep.
Most teams are probably going to walk him.
Well, you're not going to walk him to lead off the game. Why do you want to start with a runner on? So
Why wouldn't you? Honestly, why wouldn't you?
Literally nobody will do that.
I would not pitch to him.
You would, and Dave was talking about this morning. But teams aren't going to do that. Like I said,
Why not? Why didn't Boston walk him yesterday?
Because if you think about it, as great as Aaron Judge is, 7 out of 10 times he makes an out. So why are you going to just give him a free base?
Yeah, but think about it. Like in that situation,
I know. I think
dude,
the last 10 games he's hitting like 560, but I mean, he's a living legend. I mean, that just is what it is. But I do think they will adjust the lineup once LeMahieu, Rizzo are back. It'll be interesting to see where they slot Harrison Bader in the mix as well. I'm excited to see him.
So you think like Judge will be back at 4 and Stanton?
I don't think Judge at 4. I think it's going to be Judge at 2, Stanton at 3, Rizzo at 4, or Rizzo at 3, Stanton at 4. But nevertheless, it'll be nice to have those reinforcements back. And it's just nice that, I know obviously Judge did a lot of the heavy lifting the past week or so, but just the fact that without those guys, the offense really has picked up because they were in a pretty low place within the last 2 weeks. And now it seems like they've righted the ship. And, it starts tonight in terms of finishing up the series in Boston, and then on to Milwaukee, which, should be an interesting series. And I believe they'll avoid Corbin Burns, who's on the hill today. So I'd imagine they wouldn't have to face him, which is obviously going to be nice. But
I think the Mets will end up having to, because Milwaukee goes to Citi Field, I think, after or right? Pretty sure they play the Brewers after the Yankees.
But it's not in Milwaukee?
I don't know. I have to double check.
Just the kinks to the schedule here.
I know, so annoying, dude.
Just see here.
Let's see. Monday is the first game against Milwaukee. It is in Milwaukee.
Okay, yeah. I kind of thought homestand. So yeah, I mean, you look at it. You finish out this homestand with Pittsburgh, then you get 3 in Milwaukee, 3 in Oakland. Before a quick 2-gamer in Miami, and then that 3-game set at Atlanta. I would imagine, that'll decide the division there, October 1st through October 3rd.
Yeah,
so should be fun. And I guess one more comment from Prefer.
I want a Subway series so Barnes and Tony can fight like cats and dogs.
I think Tony, as Renee joins the party here, a little tie-dye today, something different. And I think Tony will agree with me, just in terms of it's not going to be cats and dogs. There's nothing to say. You either win the series or you don't, and I think that's what we're both looking forward to, if that happens.
Right.
What were you going to say?
Well, there's going to be a lot to say. Of course you got something to say.
You can please save this, archive it, whatever. If we hypothetically we get that series, and not that I would expect it in a million, gazillion, quadrillion years, if the Mets win, there's nothing I could say. There's no excuse. You have to take care of business, but I am not worried about that. And above anything else, take the Mets out of it. I'm just confident in my team, and I'm confident in the best player in baseball, and that is one Aaron Judge, as he approaches the American League home run record. And I can't wait to see that happen, and I'm sure we'll see that in the next week or so.
You do realize that if the Subway Series, World Series happens, and when the Mets do win that one, Timmy Trumpet's going to be in studio the next day.
You see the Mets record since Timmy Trumpets came out. 7-7. Yep.
So what?
There you go.
Brian,
at the time, I said to him, I think you were here. I said, "Are you worried that was a jinx?" And I know I'm not a jinx guy, but I did ask you that question. Results are results, Tony.
No, see, that's bogus. because you were the big anti-Eddie Mush guy, regardless of results or whatever happened. You can't pick and choose what you apply your philosophies to.
I guess it would
okay.
be
It's
just
no
that the
Timmy Trumpets.
are that
It's
weak,
no Eddie Mush,
that
or there is
pathetic.
Eddie Mush.
That's
okay.
stupid.
Your face is stupid.
You know, do you have a tissue, Tony?
Do you need one?
I mean, come on, dude. Just relax, all right? But anyway, what a show today, and I really appreciate everybody tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe, as well as check out the archives on the YouTube page, and also checking out the summer collection, downtimetv.com. Stay tuned for the fall collection coming out as well. But I want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games tonight. Let's go Yankees, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do.